What's up everyone, Shirley here. 9.1 is finally out and the Sanctum of Domination raid is almost upon us, and today I wanted to go over my thoughts going into the next tier as a warrior, my plans, all that jazz. So hopping right into this one, with the buffs that we got as an arms warrior, being Overpower, Mortal Strike, Deep Wounds, Execute, which did not get the buff for Venthyr's Condemn of course, and I guess the elephant in the room is, am I going to continue playing Venthyr for 9.1, because now we gotta kind of choose. And right out, yes, I will be going into the tier, actually, for reasons, various reasons, but right now, Night Fae and Kyrian are both better, simming for single target, and Necrolord no way, you know, if you're wanting to be a buff boy, but I'm not going to do that regardless. So between Night Fae and Kyrian, they're both really good for single target now and AoE. They just beat out Venthyr in most situations. However, I would say if I were to switch, I would be leaning towards Kyrian probably, just because the new legendary for Kyrian looks a bit more attractive to me than the Nature's Fury for Night Fae, just because you're getting synergy in PvP as well. And that brings me to my next point. Why am I staying Venthyr for now? For a couple of reasons. One, I like to PvP a lot, and although we got some buffs as arms, and the new legendaries of course, the overall damage toolkit hasn't been changed in PvP outside of Overpower getting buffed, which means that Condemn and Venthyr is still going to be pretty good for Arena, I would imagine, so that's, you know, a factor for me. But also, for raiding, we still have Heroic Week, and hopefully we'll get some tuning and, you know, see how things shake out. If Venthyr ends up being super far behind, then yeah, I'll probably end up switching. But as it is right now, those are my thoughts on it. And also, going into that, because of the buffs and recent changes, the legendaries have been shaken up for us, and Enduring Blow, the Mortal Strike, has a proc chance to apply Colossus Smash to your target. Is actually going to be BIS for everybody for single targets, and probably including Venthyr. That being said, Signet is still good, and you got some heavy RNG with Signet. Sometimes you can get extremely lucky and get, you know, Recklessness procs back to back to back, and you know, it might even outshine Enduring still in a few situations, but that's like rolling the dice. Enduring is going to be very consistent damage, so I've made one of those, and I'm going to be going to the tier with that, just for single target for the most part, and maybe some Light Cleave. We'll see how that shakes out, but Signet is still going to be really good still for AoE, which also correlates into our talents going into the next tier as well, because we're not using Signet all the time, then Ravager is going to lose a ton of value, so we're going to be going into Dreadnought since the Overpower buff anyway, and Rend actually, instead of Massacre, for single target at least, and Skull Splitter still of course, and Avatar I feel like I should say, even though we're still not using Signet with Enduring Blow. But Rend and Skull Splitter is going to be, you know, fun. I don't know, I'm not too big of a fan of Rend right now, but Massacre is still going to be really good on any kind of AoE fight, or anything that dies quickly, like Mythic Plus or whatever, so it's not like a dead talent by any means. Dreadnought, on the other hand, we'll have to see how this one shakes out with Signet, but Dreadnought will probably be the go-to all the time now, even when you're running Signet for any kind of AoE, you know, raid fights, or Mythic Plus, of course, because Bladestorm's just better damage than Ravager, and Dreadnought is just going to scale incredibly well with our Conduits, and that leads me to the next point. The Conduits, since we're mixing things up, Ashen Juggernaut has lost a ton of value from me, and on math paper and all that crap, but the thing about Enduring Blow, when you're using it, is you want to be MSing on cooldown. I should probably make a full guide video about all this stuff, but anyway, Juggernaut is just super hard to keep stacks up all the time now, and since we're not using Massacre all the time, then Juggernaut is losing a ton of value there as well. I imagine anytime in heavy AoE, if you're just spamming a bunch of condemns. Juggernaut, could come back around, and it's not bad by any means. It's just losing out over Moral Combo now and Crash the Ramparts for sure. And then if you're still saying Venthyr, then you got Dauntless Duelist, which is also a really nice one for single target at least, but in any kind of AoE, it's not, great, obviously. And then the Night Fae ones they nerfed the Burrs, I want to say, and that's about it. Not too many shaking up things. Anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts going into 9-1 so far. We haven't seen much. Oh yeah, we got a new PvP talent, Warbringer. It's the charge route one. It's kind of underwhelming, frankly. I wish it was a charge stun. That would be great. The damage component tied to it, though, on the shockwave that it makes is actually okay. So, you can kind of mess around with that in war mode and, cleave mobs down with it. It's not too bad. But anyway, I'm rambling now. I just wanted to share my thoughts going into 9.1 and what I'll be doing, at least for the first week. I will obviously be making more guide content and everything in the new raid and after that. And to tie up today's video, I guess, if you're still listening, thanks. But if you're wondering where I've been for the last month, I wanted to take a short break after we got done with Nathria, and then a few things happened IRL that kind of set things back, and then as things were kind of shaping back up again, we had a death in my family pretty recently, so I've been taking some time off helping the family and everybody deal with that. So yeah, that's where I've been, but I will be sticking around and making hopefully a lot more stuff for 9.1 coming up. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.